What's up, YouTube? It's Diamond Cut Steel, and you guys are going to learn something today. Alrighty, so today what we're going to do is we got some 9CR that we're going to sharpen. Still a usable edge, but there's some edge damage right there at the base. You can see it. Just something to sharpen. Anyhow, the reason I'm doing this is because a creator that I watch was sharpening some chisels, and I told him, hey, you know what? The Scary Sharp system is brilliant for chisels. And, you know, if you're not familiar with that, it's a piece of soda glass or float glass, whatever you want to call it, or granite, marble, whatever, just a flat, you know, something flat that you can affix lapping films to. Now, I don't have no full sheets of lapping film, so I'm just going to use a little 1x6 stone to stick these to. All these have some use on them. I don't want to use, you know, brand new ones just for this one. They actually last pretty decently. You know, and you have 40 micron, which is this one. Then you have 30 micron, which is this one. Then you have 12 micron, I believe, is this one. Then you have 9 micron, 3 micron, 1 micron, 0.03 micron. So, you know, typically you would use like you can use whatever size, but how I typically do it is I use, because the sheets are, I believe, 11 by 8.5 or 12 by 8.5. Anyways, I use small float glass shingles that give me two. You know, out of a full sheet, I get two pieces. That's how I do them for freehand, but I also use these on fixed angled occasionally because they actually work pretty damn good for certain things. And where they're really great for is like in this case, you know, for your lower alloy steels, especially like carbon steels for chisels and stuff like that. These things work amazing. They don't wear super fast. The 40 and 30 actually cut reasonably quick. Yeah, I mean, they're aluminum oxide. And what's really great about them, if you look at them under a microscope, they're extremely consistent. The abrasive size is incredibly consistent, and they really do leave an excellent finish. I'm very sorry for the sniffles, guys. Allergies are kicking my ass. So, like I said, all these have been used. They last, I'd say, the 40 and 30, they were quicker than the others. But, you know, they don't wear out instantly. Like, they last fair. And if you don't use a lot of pressure and cut into them, they actually last pretty good. But I use these freehand on the, you know, with the larger, you know, like cutting the sheet in half on it, fixing it to a piece of soda glass. I use that all the time for sharpening like carbon steel chef's knives, kitchenware. I use them very frequently for that because they do such a good job. So we have the 40. Now, I will tell you this, yeah, you do have to be, if you're freehanding, you do have to be very, very careful with your angle and not ever even go slightly over. If you go slightly over, you'll cut into them. So if you're using like a, you know, a chisel, like a what do you call them? Like a fixed angle for a chisel. You do have to be careful with forward and reverse strokes. I suggest just rearward strokes, edge trailing. That way you don't cut into it. You just have to be careful. I use these all the time, so I have no problem going, fore and aft on the passes. But it's probably not something I would suggest most do. Most should use them like as stropping passes, edge trailing only, at least until they really get the feel for it. Again, I'm sorry for the sniffles. Ain't nothing I can do about it. Okay, we're going to get this dead on angle. Right there. And like I said, they work really nicely. They cut good. Now you're not going to be cutting no, super fancy steels on them. Like S30V, S35VN, S45, it'll be fine for steels up to about that. LC200N leaves a really great edge on. Any of your lower alloy stainless or more simple carbon steels up to about 63 HRC. Again, once you get some experience with them, then you can start doing what I'm doing, edge leading and trailing. But to start with, I would suggest only edge trailing. That way you don't cut your films up. But I'm going to show you just how nice of a finish these leave. Old kids' clothes to use as rags. And as you can see, the 40 already leaves a very nice finish. We got a full burr. You can pick the full sheet, 7 sheets of abrasive up for about, I don't know, sometimes you see them down at $17, $18 for the 7 pack, sometimes 22, something like that. But it's consistently in that range. For chisels, for people, especially for people that sharpen chisels, wood planes, stuff like that, this is brilliant. Works really, really, really nicely. Like I said, as long as you don't use a lot of pressure, they last pretty decently. You get a fair bit of usage out of them. And they have a PSA backing on them, so it's an easily removable abrasive. Love you, son.
Good night.
Good night. Good night, baby. Good night, baby boy. Looking good. Looking good. Looking good. Still got a little bit of scratches from the previous sharpening on there. But you'll see this 40 micron will clear that edge damage out of there, no problem. Okay. We got the edge damage. Almost. I'll clean it up I'll get the rest of it on the 30 micron. So here's where we're at. Oh, did that angle change that much on that factory edge? Yes, it did. Okay, I've got more work to do on this side. That factory edge looking a little wonky there. Can you see it? As you see, I'm on angle. And then, yeah, okay. I'm going to have to make an adjustment to that, so we're going to have to go a little lower. In fact, I don't know if I can remove that much steel. With this 40. See. Okay, I've almost called it up. There's a little bit of damage there too. Okay. Yeah, I'm going to have to make an adjustment to how I sharpen this because that edge changes angle quite significantly. And it's going to be slow going taking that much steel off. With a 40 and 30 micron film. But I'm going to do it real quick. Okay. Yeah, that's looking better. There we go. So as you can see, you can remove some steel, even with that 40. I mean, with these films, you can actually remove some steel. Now, I was using a lot of pressure just then. I probably wore that film out. But I needed to get that steel off of there. Now, if the film's still good, you know, you got some life left in it, just take and stick it back to the backing. Bingo. Ready to go for when you're ready for the next time. Make this all so it's perfectly flat for me. There's that 40. I mean 30. This is the 30 micron film. Okay, so y'all can see where we're at now. We have a nice healthy burr. That damage should be called up. Anyways, here's where we're at. Okay. Knock that burr back over to the other side. Make sure I'm exactly on angle. This one I'm going to use a lot lighter pressure on, of course, because I'm not trying to clean that up this like I was on the other side. But I really love using films for carbon chef knives. Maybe even more than I like using stones, to be honest. I'm going to work on this sturdy a little longer than I need to because I want to get that little bit of edge damage out. Okay, our burr's flipped. It's looking good. Okay. Knock that burr back over. Remember, it's definitely done cleared up the scratch pattern from the 40. But I'm working a little longer on it because just to make sure I got that damage out. Okay. That's where we're at. Okay. That's the 30 micron. This one's got plenty more life left in it. So it's going to go back on its little card. And that PSA adhesive works great. Like, you can peel it off many times and it'll stick right back. It's good stuff. Now we're going to go to 12 micron, which I believe is yellow. Yeah. Maybe I'm still on my fingers from whatever it sharpened before. I do recommend using water and like diluted Windex, like 50-50 diluted water and Windex, or water and a couple drops of Dawn. The Windex is going to work better for you. It'll float the material away, keep it from plugging up better than the Dawn will. Okay, we got a nice defined burr. Going to be directly on angle. Okay. That's plenty to catch that scratch pattern up. That's where we're at now. Let's get that burr flipped. Remember, if you're not very confident in holding your angle, do not make edge leading passes, or you will cut it. Okay. That's where we're at. Okay. That 30 felt, that 12 did not have much abrasive left on it, I can tell you that. Yeah, it's got enough for maybe one or two more uses, but not much. I'm sorry about that background noise. Damn shop cat's playing. Alright, that was the 9 micron. Now we are going to go to... Alright, it was 12 micron. Now we're going to go to 9 micron, which is this lighter blue. Okay. And again, I suggest like 50-50 water and Windex. That goes for diamond plates. The films, diamond films, doesn't matter. Well, that burr's already pretty much reduced away. Flip that burr back over. We're going to flip that burr back over. Sorry, I had that vape in my mouth. Got a bunch of shipments in, and them cats are having a ball in those boxes, empty boxes. Or kittens, I should say. Okay. Here's where we're at now. Yeah, these films definitely do a good job. So long as you're not asking them to cut steel that is too much. Either too hard or too high of hard carbide content. Like you would not try to do S90V, for example, on this steel. You'd be wasting your time. But on something like, say, 14C or D2, it works great. Carbon steels that are under, say around 61, 62, max 63 HRC, and you're in business. And for your, carbons that are down at, say, 55, 56, yeah, it just works so nice. Leaves such a nice crispy edge. And because the abrasive is so consistent on this, you just have a near flawlessly consistent scratch pattern. That even the best stones can barely match how consistent the grit is on this stuff. I have extraordinarily expensive stones, like my 30K Sharpening glass. The finish this .03 or 0.3 leaves is better than that 30K Sharpening. If you look at it under a microscope, there's less stray scratches from these films than there is from even a $300 stone. Now we're going to go to 3 micron. Okay. Flip that burr back over. Now you're going to see the polish really start to come up. Big time. And you see, I went slightly over just then, and I paid for it. That was just a split second of not watching what I was doing. I seen one little piece that I didn't like when I was in the camera, just showing y'all this then, and went to correct it. And went ever so slightly over. can make it work though, don't worry. That one felt like it didn't have no more bite on it anyways. It was about done for. Good thing it didn't cut up under the paper. It just dug into it, or I would have hit this and messed, had to redo it. So it didn't, I didn't actually catch that diamond stone on the edge. Almost did. My angle of this stem was like probably over by like a 20th of a degree. It was so teeny, and that's why it just kind of filleted it. Flip that burr. This is 1 micron. Ooh, she's polished. Just clean it up a little bit better. Refine that burr just a little more. These allergies is absolutely murdering me. Here's where we're at. Now that light scratch pattern, this one's about done for too. That light scratch pattern that you can still see, this 0.3 micron is going to get rid of that. Remember, I will tell you this, if you're doing this freehand, when you get to the 3 micron and less, the feel changes significantly because it's not biting nearly as hard into the steel, so it gets very, very slick filling. So you really have to be careful so you don't change your, change your angle due to just the different feedback, basically. There's very little burr, if any. Well, there's some remaining, but there's very, very, very refined burr right now. Like, you can't feel it for sure. Whoops, see? That's skint right there a little bit. That's because this is not supported. These are cut out for 1x6, and these stones aren't quite 1x6, so be careful of that. Okay. Okay. Should be looking real good right now. Yeah, I mean, it's a full mirror. Let's get that burr knocked off, or let's deburr anything that's on there now. Lighter and lighter passes each time. Almost silent. There's a teeny bit of burr that's on here. Feel it grab. One little spot where it was grabbing. Y'all see? Yeah, there we go. Now easily swirl cutting. beautiful edge. And here's your finish. Pop it off. If we wanted to refine it any more, we can do that too. Let's hop over here to a 1/10 micron strop. Make a few passes. You have a full bright mirror. It is exceptionally sharp. Ooh, that thing's wicked. And keep in mind, guys, this is not printer paper. That's thin newspaper ad paper. Get down the lube. Anyway, so there is your 3M lapping, aluminum oxide lapping films. And basically what we call the Scary Sharp system. It's definitely got its place. It for like the West does it. That's his account, my friend. West does it. Being somebody who's going to be sharpening plane blades, chisels, mostly very low alloy carbon steels and low alloy stainless steels. You really can't beat this method. 3M aluminum oxide films and a piece of soda glass or float glass, and you have you will be able to get some wicked sharp edges with beautiful finishes that will just carve so nicely. Anyways, guys, hope y'all enjoyed it, and I'll talk to you later.